Welcome to Rapid Radios. We have a staff of 15 people right here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Our radios are not only inexpensive, but they provide coverage anywhere, coast to coast. Whether you're looking for a radio for your small business or trying to keep communications with your kids or the elderly, Rapid Radios are a great solution for you. Some people on social media might think this is too good to be true. Well, I went ahead and flew one of my team members, Garrett, out to Miami, Florida. I'm sitting here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's 1,461 miles away from me. Let's see how it works. Hey, Garrett, this is Steve with Rapid Radio. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear, Steve.
So Rapid Radio is working just perfect. Crystal clear communication, state to state, over 1,000 miles. With Rapid Radios, you can communicate instantly, hundreds or even thousands of miles away in a group setting or one-on-one. We provide the service, the nationwide coverage, and no monthly fees. Check out rapidradios.com for more information.
Rapid Radios is very different than a cell phone. Unlike cell phones, it's not public communication. The government cannot listen in. These provide secure, encrypted communications. Unlike cell phones, there are no monthly fees, and they utilize every cell carrier. You have to get these in case of a disaster, and many people frankly use these on a daily basis. Steve Eilers is the owner and founder of Rapid Radios. His hard work and dedication have kept the business growing and on a great trajectory. He oversees the whole operation while continuing growth and innovation. This is the Counterculture Mom Show. I'm your host, Tina Griffin. Truth behind 9/11 is this week's theme of the week, and to help us get prepared for the weeks and months ahead for what the World Health Organization is now already warning us regarding the next major lockdown being much worse than the first round, I'm with Steve Eilers, owner and founder of Rapid Radios. Steve, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing perfect, Tina. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on the show.
Same here. You know, you and I didn't talk about this yet in the prep for getting this episode ready to rock and roll. You and I might be related. You're from Michigan. I'm from Wisconsin. Usually everybody up there is related in some form or fashion.
Exactly. I've been across the lake a few times. You never know.
You never know. I was asking you about cheese curds, and we're definitely going to send some your direction because you're missing out on that. But you got the great weather up there for like 8 weeks out of the year. How do you survive during the winter months? I got to find out how you survived for a couple decades up there. I had to split when I was 20.
So hibernation is a real thing here. Seasonal depression is a real thing. No, like honestly, during the winter, that's like probably when I get the most work done, actually, because like I'm not a huge outdoor sports guy. We have really good skiing and stuff like that here, but I don't know. I like that when I was a kid. Now I'm an adult. I feel the cold.
Right.
Just hunker down inside and just work.
Yeah.
We've got like 3 months of great weather here, and then
3 months. So it went up a little bit. I remember when I was a kid, I was still sledding off the barn roof when it was like May, because we'd have a last blizzard coming in before the end of the school year.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I got to find out how you're looking so young, because you just look very vibrant. Do your Rapid Radios work in sub-zero degree weather?
They do, yes. And incredibly hot weather too. Yeah, they're weatherproof, and they stand the elements, the outside elements, just fine.
Okay, take us back in history. I'm going to start you out with a curveball question because I know you can handle it. Where were you? What were you doing when you had this grandiose idea to make Rapid Radios? Because it is one of the most phenomenal products I've had in my hand ever, and it works literally. If someone was in Spain and someone was in Wisconsin, the beast would work. Where did this idea come from?
Okay, so it's funny you mentioned like the World Health Organization and upcoming, pandemic stuff. I had the idea for the company during the first COVID lockdowns.
Wow.
I'm in Michigan. We had some of the most aggressive lockdowns in the country with good old Big Gretchen Whitmer. A lot to say about that, but long story short, I had a business at the time. They completely hemorrhaged my business, my ability to do work. I couldn't have employees at my office. Meanwhile, just the fear that they were instilling in me, my family, my employees at the time was kind of ridiculous. So that said, I started to really start doing things to prepare myself, doing things to get off grid. I got my ham radio license, got really interested into radio communications and private communications and things like that. I had a lot of time on my hands. not being able to do much, but also just the not being able to do much business wise. That's when I really got interested into radio and prepping and things of that nature. And that's when radio really in communications became a hobby. Since then, I've turned it into a business. It took a couple of years, but really it started with the hobby. I'm fortunate enough to say that I'm doing something that I love. I can't say that in the past with other business ventures that I've had where I was really not passionate about the product, but being able to do something that I love, I'm really interested in. I'm a geek at heart, and playing around with walkie-talkies is kind of like a man's dream. I mean, that's my favorite thing to do when I was a kid. So really, during the COVID lockdowns, I got interested in ham radio, learned a lot about the technology, and then throughout the years figured, you know what, I need to do something like this at a consumer level. People don't understand the technology. They don't understand the crap we're dealing with cell phones and the lack of privacy. I wanted to bring something new and innovative at a consumer level. And it's just been a couple of years of just trial and error and figuring things out. So,
and you're doing such a great job at it because your sales are skyrocketing. You can't keep them on the shelves, it seems, fast enough. And I'm praying that with this interview, everybody out there, share this episode, be prepared, get these very reasonably priced one-time purchase price. Hello, people, walkie-talkies in your hands, because Rapid Radios will absolutely help you in any kind of disaster situation. But there's 10 different things I want to ask you about. This isn't just for possible disaster that we know is absolutely coming. And currently right now, we're never guaranteed every single day on what might happen. Election year, hello, anything could happen at any moment. Exactly. It's the daily use of Rapid Radios that is blowing my mind. You have people pouring in saying, I don't want my kids on a cell phone. I don't want them to have to worry about the internet. And kids are walking around with your very small, easy to handle walkie-talkies where they're going just to keep in touch with communications. So can you give us some daily use of why we have to have these as well, not just for emergency purposes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you nailed one of the biggest ones. Using this with your family and your kids. I have a 10-year-old son and an 11-year-old daughter. In fact, she's almost 12 in like a week, right? Her birthday's right by mine, but I do not want them having a cell phone yet. The dangers of cell phones are incredible. Just the social media. I mean, we didn't have that when I got my first cell phone, 20 something years ago. It was a prepaid phone. There wasn't apps. There wasn't Facebook. There wasn't like creeps on there and games and, people pretending to be kids. It's incredibly scary, the environment that like my children are in compared to how I grew up. So, having something where I can get a hold of them no matter what. They can't just ignore the call, right? They can't, send me to voicemail. It's also another nice thing. I can get a hold of them wherever they're at, and without the issues, the dangers of a cell phone. Super nice. The same thing goes, with elderly people. Some of these smartphones I can't handle. They're too sophisticated.
Yes.
You need a freaking manual to be able to, send a text or make a call. It's ridiculous. So having something easy for them too. We have, countless families using this just as a secondary means of communication, and it's been really nice. And then aside from that, businesses, that's huge. Again, emergency communications too. These are great, disasters and things like that. But we have found that small businesses love Rapid Radios. They're not paying corporate America anymore. The people who switch to us, they're coming from, Fortune 500 companies like Motorola and people with big corporate interests, and they spend they charge a lot of money. So now they're supporting, American small business, which is really nice. And they're getting a better product.
Absolutely. And it's really fast and easy to use. My husband and son went on a hike out in Colorado, loved it, used it, worked great. It was just excellent. And the other thing I was going to talk about is even kids with phones with a battery deal. I had how many times parents say, I was trying to get a hold of my daughter and their phone died after 5 hours. Rapid Radios, the battery lasts 5 days, which to me is just unbelievable. So if you get to plug it in, chances are it's still going to work.
Right.
How did you manage that? Because that to me is phenomenal, especially if you're like, God forbid, lost in the woods, or it is an emergency purpose. You can rest assured you have several good days where that battery is going to work and help you try to get the rescue you need.
Yeah. there was a lot of trial and error, a lot of testing, both on the batteries, but also just the internal mechanics of like the chips and the hardware and the walkie-talkies. Like I said, I'm a geek at heart, so I really understand this stuff. We wanted to make it so these were incredibly good range, but very low power. Like your cell phone, for example, it does put off a lot of radiation.
Yes.
Like those reports and things that, we heard about brain tumors 15 years ago and all those scares, like it's not necessarily BS. They do put off EMFs, and it's something you're holding towards your head. It's a real thing. So we wanted to create something that was incredibly powerful, but also safer from that standpoint too. So they're way better than a cell phone in terms of the EMFs and the radiation and things like that. But we basically just made it so the chips don't utilize a lot of power when they're not being used, like when they're in standby mode. And so they're just very efficient, essentially, in terms of the communication. They'll bump up power when they're transmitting and receiving, but in standby mode, it'll be less and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of trial and error. But yeah, we're on normal use about 5 days. Some people get longer too. If they're just keeping this on, not using it much, you can get a week. So it's pretty cool. It's good tech.
I absolutely love that. And you did bring me back to when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. My 2 younger brothers living on the dairy farm using a little cheesy walkie-talkies with a little orange button on there. It's just fun. You feel like you're an FBI agent or trying to track and trace someone down. If someone would lose a rapid radio that they had in their hand, let's say it's a 12-year-old kid, she can't find it. She thought she left it in her locker or whatever the case is. Is there tracking? Is there a way to find that device again?
Okay, so technically there is, if it's requested by the customer.
Got it.
Outside of that, we do not do any type of tracking. There's not a GPS in the unit, but because there's a SIM card, we can triangulate within maybe 50 feet or so. It's not super accurate from the cell towers, but again, that would only be at the request of the customer. It requires us to go to the carrier to get that info. We do not store the location data of any of our radios on purpose.
Yes.
If we get a subpoena from the government, we're going to tell them to go pound sand because they're not going to get anything from us. We specifically don't keep that information. Privacy is extremely important. Plus, everything's encrypted as well. So it's pretty cool technology. But yeah, the tracking, that's kind of, we can get it to pretty close, but not like a GPS. And that's by design, really, by design, because of privacy.
I was just going to say that, and as I was asking the question, I'm like, hang on a second. We don't want anyone to find where that is per se, because that's the whole reason that you are who you are, is the fact that no one can track it down, listen to your conversations. Man, oh man, I know my calls back when I lived in LA 20 years ago were tracked and traced. It's insane, and I have proof for that. So it's like they've been doing this for decades. More with Steve, going to a short commercial break, support our sponsors. More with Steve on Rapid Radios and how to get some in your hands right now, right after this. Imagine having the ability to boost your body's own defenses against illness and disease without having to rely on corporate or government solutions. It's all about tapping into the powerful, natural ways that have been provided to us by God. Inforce is a groundbreaking immune-supporting mushroom with over 400 studies confirming its abilities. Chris Eriks, also known as Baby Trump, has an incredible story of how his throat cancer went into remission after just 3 months of taking Inforce. And it's not just for humans. Stephanie gave her dog Mush puppies and saw amazing results. Her pup is now walking again and cancer-free. That's why so many people are using Inforce and Mush puppies for themselves and their pets. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and 80% of customers keep coming back for more. Check out petclub247.com/Tina to get your own supply. That's petclub247.com/Tina. With cancer on the rise, it's imperative to boost our immune systems every day. Take the first step towards a healthier future with Inforce.
In a world where technology surrounds us, our exposure to EMR, or electromagnetic radiation, is higher than ever before, with over 400,000 cell towers and antennas in the United States alone, not to mention Wi-Fi that runs 24/7 in our home, cell phones that are carried in our pockets hours on end, and hundreds of 5G satellites in our orbit. Common complaints are ringing in the ear, sleep deprivation, heart palpitations, insomnia, and so much more. Start protecting yourself now. Introducing Redemption Shield, your EMF protection products. With over 700 5-star reviews, Redemption Shield is leading the way in shielding and grounding products. Taking inflammation out of your body with grounding bed mats, grounding bed sheets, hats, scarves, Wi-Fi router covers, cell phone bags. Come and see us today at redemptionshield.com and get grounded and shielded. Redemptionshield.com. Use code TINA and save 10%.
If you're concerned about your family's health, you need to not only be protecting them from the outside in, you need to be nurturing them with healthy food from the inside out. Check out Farmer Bill's Provisions for high-quality, all-natural biltong beef jerky made in the USA. Your family will love the taste. And best of all, it'll be building a healthier you rather than adding junk you don't need into your system. Just go to farmerbillsprovisions.com. Once again, farmerbillsprovisions.com and get 10% off your order using code TINA at checkout. Get that junk out of your body and the good stuff in. Hey, Steve, you're very easy to talk to. I love your brain. We have to have you come up with like 10 more inventions ASAP. So
good.
Rapid Radios is a hit. In fact, I was at the National Religious Broadcasters Conference when Trump was going to come in to speak at that rally. He did end up coming in 3 hours late. But that morning, in the pit of my gut, something did not seem right because in Nashville, where this conference was happening, no internet when we woke up at 7 or 8 or 9 in the morning for several hours. And I'm like, this is not good. Cell towers are down. And then my mind immediately went to, because of the topics we talk about, Trump's supposed to be coming to town. Is anything going to be dropping on this building while I'm in it? Literally, that's where my heart went because I sank, because I'm like, they don't want communication for us to be able to call out for help. And we found out later, massive cybersecurity attack on many of the carriers' grids. Give us more detail, because you and your company ran out of, or almost did. I mean, it was massive skyrocketing in sales of Rapid Radios that day. Tell us more about how that impacted your business for the good and how we must be prepared now, everybody, to buy Rapid Radios right now today using code TINA at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. Thank you, Steve, for that. Code TINA at checkout, rapidradios.com. Get them now, because when the next bomb drops, literally, you might not be able to get your hands on it. What happened when AT&T went down specifically in February?
Yeah, so February 22nd, I'll always remember the date because it was one of our best sales days. Actually, it is. It will go down as the best sales day we've ever had. And what that says to me is, people waited. They waited to get this technology until they needed it. And that is not this, that's not what we recommend doing. You don't want to wait to get what you need when you need it. You want to have it when you need it. Okay. So we saw the opposite of that on February 22nd. Sales completely skyrocketed. What happened was we basically went viral that day because, we had a good customer base already at the time, probably a good 40,000 users on the platform at that time. But people who, relied on their cell phones, they weren't working. They went to social media. They went to bat for us. It was a really special thing, saying like, I would have been screwed if I didn't have Rapid Radios on that day, because all of my business communications, I could still do it. I could talk to my family that had them. That's the cool thing about Rapid Radios. Like, I designed it in a way to have it's a term I've coined called cross-carrier redundancy. And essentially that just means we utilize all the carriers, not just one. We're not putting all our eggs in one basket. So it gives you better coverage, but it gives you redundancy. So when AT&T goes down, like they did for like over 24 hours, you fall back on some of the other carriers and you're not, left high and dry essentially. So it was an amazing day. I'll always remember it. I was actually driving to the airport, flying to Florida when everything kind of was going down. I didn't have cell phone coverage at the time. It was a little scary about to get on an airplane because I didn't really buy the whole software glitch thing. I do think it was a cyber attack.
Absolutely.
I do think we've had more since. In fact, I have enough contacts in the cell industry and telecom to attest that there's more going on to that situation than meets the eye.
You have several other products that you have that don't rely on cell coverage per se. Can you quickly give us one or two different things and navigate us at rapidradios.com? We're going to go to your website right now. Everyone sign up for the newsletter. Definitely get that. Activate your discount. But honestly, if you put code TINA at checkout, you get 10%, 10% everybody, code Tina at checkout. Tell us, Steve, when we go to this website, what other products do you have if we want to be completely off any kind of cell tower coverage?
Yep. So if you go under shop radios, we do have a sister product called My Emergency Radio. This product is a little bit different. This is an actual ham radio. So to transmit on this device, you legally would need a license and go through testing and things like that with the FCC, what I did essentially during COVID times. However, the FCC does make exceptions that in times of an emergency where there could be a loss of property, life, stuff like that, basically, you know, if crap hits the fan,
yes,
when no one cares about licenses, you can use them all you want. So this being a ham radio, you're not reliant on the grid really at all.
I think it's so important to have both of these products from Rapid Radios for all the reasons you addressed. And secondly, we have a ham radio. My kids love using it. We want to get this in our hands as well. So I'm going to, get that info from you as well. But we can use code Tina at checkout to save 10% off of any product. So I say everybody out there, get both. Because even teaching your kids how to use your second backup emergency product, once again, by going to Shop Radios, everybody, at rapidradios.com, Shop Radios, and then clicking on My Emergency Radio, the emergency VHF, UHF radio. Have your kids learn how to use it. Instead of being on video games for 20 hours a week, have them learn how to do something like this, because then it's going to have their brains rolling, become creative and all that. Steve, second commercial break. We're going to run your commercial spot in this so they can see once again what you all do for America to keep us on track and keep us prepared and prepped. Code Tina at checkout, 10% off. We'll be back with Steve more right after this. What if there was a safe, drug-free way to help your anxiety and stress levels? Well, now there is with Restore Patch. It's great for anyone suffering from fear, anxiety, sleep issues, lack of energy, or even migraines. It's the latest in wearable technology, a simple, all-natural, chemical-free wearable patch. Risk-free with a 60-day money-back guarantee.
I'm just less anxious, I'm happier, I'm calmer.
I've had both of these together all day, been focused, been great.
I decided to give these a try because I just wanted to give my body a break, but I wanted to do so without chemicals, without prescription medications, and this has been great.
I was skeptical and I tried it, and I am beyond thrilled that I did.
I'm telling you, this is everything I've ever needed.
Anyone can benefit from Restore Patch. To help your body get back on track or keep it there, just go to restorepatch.com and use code Tina at checkout to get 10% off.
During these uncertain times, communication is critical. Make sure you can get in touch with your family and friends anytime, anywhere. Introducing Rapid Radios, the #1 trusted source for staying connected worldwide. Our professional-grade walkie-talkies provide crystal-clear conversations and are 256-bit encrypted, ensuring ultimate privacy with unlimited range and 5 days of battery life. Unlike cell phones, our radios are not trackable or traceable. Best yet, there's no setup required. They're ready to use right out of the box. No contracts and no monthly fees. Don't delay. Get your radios today and use code TINA at checkout to save 10% at rapidradios.com. That's 10% off using code TINA at rapidradios.com. Free shipping for a limited time only. Whether you're at home or abroad, stay connected with confidence.
Hey, Steve, before I let you go, once again, these Rapid Radios can be used in any kind of weather. So if you're in Wisconsin, stuck in a blizzard, or Michigan, or down enjoying the beach in Florida, you can use these all over the place, including Europe. We just got back from a fantastic European vacation. It works all over the place, people, all over. We want to remind everybody, Steve, there's no monthly fees. It's worldwide. It uses all the carriers. And once they buy it once, there's no more cost to anything. Give us any more things that we need to remember. Easy to use for older generation, easy to use and set up. Anything else we need to know about regarding all that?
Yeah, like honestly, incredibly easy. You literally just push a button and it's instant communication with your family, with your team, with whomever. So ease of use is huge. Awesome battery life, low cost. No contracts or shenanigans or anything like that. And the cross-carrier redundancy, we talked about that earlier, having the ability to piggyback off of different cell carriers if one goes down. incredibly powerful. And then having the emergency radio as a backup too, if all carriers are down. Just having communications. If I could hammer one thing home to the listeners, it's communications are extremely important in a disaster scenario that could be life and death.
rapidradios.com. Go there, code Tina at checkout, and get one of everything on their website. Save 10% off once again using code Tina. Get one of everything that they have on their website to be prepared for what's to come. Steve, you rock. Keep at it. An honor to partner with you in these end times.